To unlock Akuma, you're going to need to go to the oil well basin and talk to Quinn to start the quest, and then we're going to need to now explore a few areas nearby. You're going to head to Zone 11 and investigate the dead Gypceros over to the left. Press L2 and you'll trigger the dialogue between your character and Alma. This one is complete. Now we need to go to Zone 5, which can be easily reached by the oil well basin main camp. What you're going to want to do is walk outside, ignore this casual Arkveld, follow along the path here on the left, and on your left side, you're going to press L2 to trigger the dialogue from the dead Rathian. Now after that, what we're going to need to do is return to Maki in Azuz and speak to her to further the quest. After talking to her, all that's left to do now is find Akuma, which I can see a lot of people having issues with and saying it's annoying to find him. You actually can just select him on the map. Scroll down to this icon, set your waypoint here, and then use your sacred, and it'll auto travel to him. After speaking with him and having him clap your cheeks in the darkness, he shows you off and then gives you a task to do an arena quest to defeat an Shoryuken as Akuma. Remember, the equipment is limited in these to what they provide you with here, so make sure you guys eat the max potion and 2 rations to boost your health. After defeating him, you're gonna head back to Akuma to complete the quest, and he'll give you another arena quest to go up against a stronger Shoryuken, which you can bring a friend with now. And now to unlock Akuma, you're gonna need to obtain Street Fighter tickets, specifically SF6 tickets. You can get these from either one of the arena fights. To be honest, just run the lower level Shoryuken a few times until you have a total of 5 SF tickets, and then you can create the full set from the blacksmith. It's an entire full set, so you can't just equip one, and the disappointing part is you can't layer this to use your character over him. On PC, I imagine you could do mods eventually, but this just came out today. You can layer him over your character and not directly equip him, but if you do that, you're going to lose out on some valuable skills that also come with the armor, like Master of the Fist, which increases the power of special actions. Drive impacts can now trigger offset attacks, and further increasing the power of offset attacks, which I think would work extremely well with the weapons that also have offsets built into their kit. So there's some drawbacks, unfortunately, to Akuma, but he's extremely fun. Now let's talk about how to play as Akuma, because there's some pretty unique and fun in-depth mechanics to his kit, and I'm pretty sure there's gonna be way more people discovered. And learning how to properly use them is probably the most fun you'll have. This is absolutely feeling like a 15th weapon. Subscribe, hit that notification bell to help raise at 38% even higher. We got plenty more videos where this comes from. And now, let's learn how to play as Akuma. At first, fisting people with Akuma can appear kind of overwhelming, but there are some really cool things about his kit that simplify a whole lot of it. So obviously you have to have your weapons sheathed in order to start fisting people, and if you try to pull out your weapons, you can still use them, of course, and they'll have their damage applied based on the gear that you have on. But the main thing is you want to sheath his weapons. Now, there's specific items that you need to equip. If you go down here, you have 3 different unique items pertaining towards Akuma. You got a drive impact one, you have a Hadoken one, and you have his assisted combo, which is the one that you'll be pretty much slotted into majority of the time. So let's start off with the Hadoken. You got to actually slot it in as a slinger. So equip it, and then you could actually move off of it. And now when you're aiming with the left trigger, you could actually tap R2, the right trigger, to throw out a Hadoken, which deals that amount of damage. And then you can hold it down to actually send a charged up one. And then you can actually combo directly into another one if you just tap it and then you hold it down. You can go right into the supercharged up one. And after each move that Akuma deals in with his moveset, you could actually demon dash out of it. So it's kind of cool. You could actually kind of like use this to get in and out of danger. I've been able to like perfect evade, or maybe I got lucky a couple times monsters with this. It's been working out pretty good. The range at this is pretty solid too. Like if we go all the way back here, that's the charged up one. It could actually reach from that far. And this is the normal one. It goes equal distance. And just to show you guys too, you could actually snipe things out of the air. So let's go ahead and shoot the wedge beetle. I don't know if one regular one will knock it out. It will. Yeah, and even if we shoot it in the air, you can see how far it travels. That's the regular uncharged one. That went pretty good decent distance away. And this is the charged up one. Yeah, so they pretty much travel the same distance. Now, while you have Hadoken slotted in for your slinger, you're going to want to go over to assisted combos, and here we go. This is the main thing about Akuma. To start off any of his melee combos, you're going to need to always start off with square. or the X button on Xbox controllers. The standing light punch is going to be what chains you into all of your following combos. Unfortunately, on the bottom left of the training, it still shows my Gunlance combos, but on the top right, it actually shows the combos that Akuma can do. So let's just go through it real quick. If you mash square over and over again, you'll go into a Hadoken ender, which you'll see if you press square, standing light kick will go next, then heavy Hadoken. And that's the first combo string. So let's start with square again, and then you'll see we could either go into square again, triangle, or circle. So let's go into the triangle combo. That's what that one looks like. And then you could do the same thing with his heavy kick. So go into the circles. You got a nice Tatsu over there. What feels a little weird with this is I'm kind of used to always being engaged into focus mode, but with focus mode for this, the only other way that you can have it set so that when you toggle it, it actually functions like it would normally with the weapons is if you change the slinger aim to toggle mode. But if you do this, you can't directly equip the regular combos with this. So I'll show you guys, if you switch this to toggle mode and you try to use it like you normally would, it'll function as long as you have it already equipped. But say you need to switch and trying to switch while you have focus mode equipped, it'll actually just only make it so that you can select slinger related items, which goes from Hadoken or whatever else you might have equipped like dung pods and flash pods. So unfortunately that doesn't work. It's a lot more buttons to have to really get this working in that way. So you kind of have to do this, and then if you try to like change anything up, you'll see I went into my items to switch to my combos up or select a different item, and it's automatically making me choose a slinger. So you might be able to get used to that, but I feel like it just messes with so much and it's way less fluid. So unfortunately you got to have the hold to activate focus mode for this. And if you're holding it, you could of course always aim all your moves in the directions that you need them to go, just like you would on any other weapon in this game. So now you might be asking, how do you go about detonating or attacking a wound on an enemy? Some of you guys might do it from drive impact. I don't recommend this, but this is essentially how you would go about doing it if you just wanted to do it straight up from the items. But that's not the way that you want to use this. There's actually a much simpler way that makes it pointless to even go that route. And you'll see once you use drive impact, it actually goes on a cooldown and it needs to come back up. So that's one negative about this, is that like if there's multiple wounds and you use drive impact, it does have to go on a cooldown and you have to wait for it to come back. And now that we have that fully charged up, you'll see the drive impact gauge has filled up. And we're back on the assisted combo Akuma. This is the only thing you really need to be on after you slot in Hadoken on your slinger. If you look on the top right, as soon as you throw out a punch with square, you actually can, if you're holding down the focus mode button, press R1 to do drive impact. So you don't need to actually equip drive impact. It does make it harder if you do go for the equipping aspect of it. Let's open up this wound here and I'll show you guys. So you're just gonna do a regular punch and then you can press R1 and he goes right into the drive impact, and it'll do this animation if the enemy has a wound on it. So now we have the dummy set to attack. I'm gonna show you guys how to do an offset. So you can offset from the drive impact from your items here. I don't really recommend it every single time though. Oops. Let's go ahead and actually land it. That's what it looks like. It's pretty satisfying, honestly. All offset attacks really are, but you'll see it actually use your drive impact gauge for doing that too. So it makes it so that you can't really detonate or attack wounds, but you do have a weapon on your back. So if there is a wound on an enemy, you could actually switch to your weapon and then go ahead and strike that in the same way that you normally would. But just like how you can detonate wounds off of your assisted combos having this equipped, you can do the same thing with drive impact. So like say you're in the middle of punching and attacking, you can go right into it and land the drive impact. So I can do one punch and then go into the drive impact. Again, that was just punching once and then holding down L2 and tapping R1 at the right time. In my opinion, I think it's pretty forgiving on the timing for this. I've been pretty early and sometimes kind of late with it and still pulling it off. Akuma's really fun. All right, let's talk about more of the advanced stuff for Akuma's kit, which is really awesome. So starting off with his light punch, you can obviously go into many other combos, but you can continue to string them too. So say if we wanted to, we can go into all his squares and then go immediately into his triangles and then into his circles, which is a pretty big hit. It's definitely what you're going to want to be doing when you knock down the enemy or the enemy's focus is on somebody else, or you have them stunned in any way, or after knocking them down from an offset. His heavy kicks goes into his Tatsu, and you might be wondering, how the hell do you do a Shoryuken? So Shoryuken's actually pretty cool the way they implemented this. So at the end of any of your combos, that's whether you start with the triangles, we'll do the triangle ones, you do a Shoryuken input, which is forward, down, forward. If you played Street Fighter, you know what that is. I'll be putting it on the screen just to help you guys out with the inputs. You have to use the analog stick for this. The D-pad won't work. So right after you do that Hadoken and the animation ends, you do forward, down, forward with the left stick. You do have to wait until the animation ends. You can't do it immediately or buffer the input, which is kind of annoying. The timing of this can take some getting used to. Wait until the animation is done before you input the Shoryuken in order for it to work. I kind of hope they change that because it'd be really cool if you could just buffer it. So right after that lands, you go into the Shoryuken input, and that's how you execute that. And again, you could do it off of any of his other moves. So I'll do it right here after the Tatsus. Oops, I dropped it right there. Let's go after the Tatsus. Gotta wait till he lands before you start doing that input. And then you could do it off of his triangles too. See? You can do forward, down, down, forward. And, well, the way that that looks like on controller is you're going to press right. You're going to be pressing right. So it's going to be right, down, down, right. So we'll do this off of the light input. So we'll go right after the combo. We'll do forward, down, down, right. Yeah. That's right, down, down, right. Sorry. Forward, down, down, forward, or right, down, down, right. That's what it looks like. That's what the input is. You got to do it from a 2D fighter standpoint because he is a Street Fighter character. And again, that works for all of them. I feel like you got to be much quicker. It's harder to do the forward, down, down, forward input, in my opinion. I think it's easier if you just, with the analog stick, you press forward, down, forward. It's just way more consistent, in my opinion. You just got to know when to input it, and it's super easy once you get the hang of it. And just to give you guys a visual representation of it, you're literally going to take your stick, you're going to go forward, down, forward. You're going to slide it just like that. That's all you have to do. Forward, down, forward. Forward, down, forward. It's old school, man. Now, another really amazing thing that I don't see a whole lot of people talking about is actually his Raging Demon. So you guys know we can obviously do it off of like detonating a wound in this way and go right into the animation. Now, there's also a secret input in order to instantly do his Raging Demon from a distance, which is really damn cool and iconic from the games. It's going to be a easy combo to pull off. All you got to be doing is, well, the enemy has to be wounded, of course, and you're going to press light punch, triangle, and circle. So on PlayStation, going to be square, square, triangle, and circle while aiming. And on Xbox, it's going to be X, X, Y, and B. So I'll show you guys what that looks like here. Let's actually do it from a distance so you guys can see how far it goes. So square, square. Went right up to him in that way. So very iconic and really cool that they put it into the game that way. You're obviously going to do less damage than if you're like, you know, if you're further away from the enemy than doing it. And of course, it does use your gauge, so you can't just like spam it immediately right after, go into your offsets or even just pop another wound. But you could, of course, switch to your weapon and go ahead and pop wounds in that way. And that wraps it up for Akuma, guys. That's how you get him, and that's how you play as him. His kit is really fun, but I agree with everybody else, man. I was hoping that we'd be able to actually play as our own character, as our own hunter, and do these moves, but unfortunately that is not the case. So I'm hoping that's something that they adjust in the future or can adjust in some way, because it'd be really cool to see our characters running around and doing that animation. But you know, it is what it is. Let's go ahead and start doing some runs with Akuma with the rest of the community. And also, by the way, I forgot to mention, you can demon dash away from right after doing a Raging Demon. So let's actually do that real quick. So go ahead. We'll go ahead and do that, and you'll see right after it's done, because sometimes it's not going to knock the enemy down. You could actually demon dash out of it to protect yourself. So keep that in mind. And as of right now, that's all of what Akuma has to offer. His actual armor set comes with heroics and stuff, so that's definitely an angle that they want to kind of play into, which is kind of funny because in the original games, I recall like Akuma being one of those characters that has lower health than everybody else. So it's kind of cool that there's a little bit of a nod to that with heroics, meaning that the lower his health is, the more damage he'll deal. I mean, it's Capcom, so they know exactly what to do with their characters, right? This isn't like an optimal build to have for him. I was just messing around with some stuff, but he does have a respectable amount of slots in his gear. With his full set, he's gonna be coming with 2 3 slots, a bunch of 2s and some 1s, so you can really mix and match a bunch of great things in there. Yeah, guys, that wraps it up for Akuma. Let me know what you guys think about him as a character. Are you having fun with him, and how is it playing with like 4 other Akumas, 3 other Akumas, sorry, in this game? It's got to be pretty damn cool. I want to see if I can land this combo real quick. I'll go into the triangles, go into the Tatsu, and as soon as I land, go right into that. Yeah. Pretty cool stuff, man. Punching and attacking doesn't seem to raise his gauge up faster. It seems to be just like a strict cooldown. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed and subscribe if you are new. More Monster Hunter videos are on the way and you don't want to miss them. My name is BltzZ, and thanks for watching.